Box today.
It was?
Wonder why that happened.
Luckily, I picked mine up yesterday.
That's it. We put it all together.
Okay, it is 5:00 PM on Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. I'll call this regular town board meeting of the town of LaPointe to order. A roll call, Mike Anderson is not going to be here. Amy Baxter,
Here.
Susan Brenna,
Here.
Samantha Dobson,
Here.
Glenn Carlson here. We also have our town administrator here and our MRF supervisor and members of the public. Is there any public comment? John?
Tonight, we're going to be asked to approve an infrastructure loan through WIDA for the Affordable Housing Committee. As you'll notice, it's just for infrastructure, for water, sewer, traffic devices, and electric. They don't even know if they can use the property yet. It has to go through zoning to have it rezoned possibly. They don't even have what they're going to build yet. As far as it's going to be rental, is to be purchased. So I don't know why they would want you to approve a 1% loan for something that they can't do yet. It's kind of jumping the gun. It's not something you do things.
Thank you, John. Any other public comment? I do have one, and we will get the word out on this, but James Price is going to be here on April 21st, Monday, from 2 to 4. We'll probably do this as a special town board meeting. He wants to bring, he has not addressed the town board in, 10 years. And so he'd like to address the town board on things, but also if contractors have questions, he is more than willing to answer questions. So it'll be sort of like a workshop that we'll have with him. And we will get the word out to the contractors, but a little preview there. Okay, moving on, administrative reports, town administrators report. How was the WTA meeting yesterday?
It was good. The judge was there handling the case. Not allowed to discuss the case, but I know him because I appeared in front of him. So we chatted. When I first walked in, I said hello, and he said, "You're in the wrong county." The meeting was over by the Great Lakes Visitor Center, Moqua, and I just kind of hemmed and hawed, and he said, "Well, you're welcome to Bayfield County anytime." So, but it was good. I think they actually, that guy that you saw, the Matt Erickson, who's the Ashland County Roads Commissioner, was at that meeting, and he and the Bayfield County guy Jake did a little talk about how they raise money from the state for different road programs. So that was good. Judge Anderson gave a talk about drug court or treatment court, as they call it. And then there was, it was interesting. They talked, I didn't know what an annual town meeting was about, and they did quite a bit of discussion about that. That was good for me. It was really a good learning experience. I thought it was just another town board meeting, but it's completely different. And so that was good. It was worth being there.
Good, thank you. Any questions, comments for Max on his report? Okay. Is there unanimous consent to place it on file?
Yes.
Yes.
Moving on to Public Works, we have a request to hire a Parks One position, and that is John Flockhart at $20 an hour, not to exceed 600 hours.
Make a motion to approve John Flockhart for Parks number 1 position at $20 an hour and not to exceed 600 hours.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, committee minutes. Does anyone have any comments or questions on any of the committee minutes from the last month? There were a lot of them. Okay, is there unanimous consent to place those on file?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, moving on, the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, they're requesting that we authorize a loan application with the WIDA Infrastructure Access Program. I know Mike Anderson had a couple of questions. One is there a deadline for this, and when do they find out if they're approved? I had a question regarding whether this would impact our borrowing limits. And I don't know, were you able to
I
find out?
sent him
anything?
an email this morning and I haven't heard back.
Okay. Well, I'd propose that, also consistent with John's comment, that we table this until at least our next meeting to answer some questions that have come up.
I'll make a motion that we postpone the infrastructure access loan until our next meeting.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
Can I make any comments on behalf of the committee?
Go ahead, Mike.
Right, so there are not answers to at least two questions I heard, or three questions I heard. The application period is not supposed to open until the end of April, second half of April. And so till that happens, I don't know what the grant cycle is going to be. We have some of our own questions as to whether the town would actually be eligible to apply. But we don't know since we don't know what the timetable is going to be, we would like the authority to go ahead and begin the application process, if nothing else. This is a loan program that has 1% interest. It pays for infrastructure costs for affordable housing. And so in our case, we would most likely be applying for road, water, sewer, lighting, perhaps a few other things that we would find that might qualify under their guidelines. There are set-asides for rural areas of the state. There are set-asides for communities under 10,000. So there's a good likelihood that this could be a source of funding for some of the development that we're looking into on Big Bay Road.
Thank you,
And I
Mike.
would imagine it would indeed be considered part of the town's borrowing capacity.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Any other discussion, comments? All in favor of deferring this till our next meeting, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will put this on the agenda for our next meeting, which I believe is April 8th. I think, second Tuesday. Okay, moving on, Town Hall Administration Budget Summary Report. Are there any questions or comments on the budget summary report? I had just a couple. I see that actually we're doing pretty good on the budget. The only things that stood out for me that looked like a little bit more than the 2 months worth of expenses were the line items under the library for books and equipment purchase and library operations, not to be confused with wages and FICA, and it's not a huge amount, but you know, they've got for operations a $10,400 budget for the whole year, and they've already through February spent $6,100 of that. So I just ask if Max or Lizzie can follow up and make sure the library is aware of where they stand with things. Any other questions on the budget summary report? Is there a motion to accept the budget summary report?
Make a motion that we accept the budget summary report.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we've got the contract with Chemical Industries for the dust abatement product. That should have been in your mailbox.
To the purchase agreement was chemical.
Second.
Moved and seconded. I will point out,
The price was $31,900. Up here.
yeah, and yeah, we had like 40,000 in the budget, so this is well within the budget. Any other discussion?
But just out of curiosity, is there really no other companies closer than Alberta to do this?
That's,
No, there isn't. It's the
Really?
closest magnesium chloride mine.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and it's cheaper than doing liquid calcium chloride or magnesium chloride, the self-application.
thank you, Evan. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the contract with Chemical Industries for the dust abatement material? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the award bid and approved contractor for the trash compactor replacement. Max, have you heard back from them as to your
Yeah, he
suggestion?
signed it. Yes, I asked him. He accepted all of it.
Oh, okay. All right, so we are good to move forward with approving the contract and awarding the bid to for the trash compactor replacement. Is there a motion to that effect?
Motion to approve the contract with Fleet Genius. For the compactor.
A second.
Did you want the amount? Which is $29,265, which is less than we have in the budget for it.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, we've got a resolution to adopt, but before we do that, I have to read this requirement from the Board of Commissioners of Public Lands. By the provisions of Section 24.66 of the Wisconsin statutes, all municipalities may borrow money for such purposes in the manner prescribed. And by the provisions of Chapter 24 of the Wisconsin statutes, the Board of Commissioners of Public Lands of Wisconsin is authorized to make loans from the state trust fund to municipalities for such purposes. Municipality as defined by Section 24.60 parens 2 of the Wisconsin statutes means a town, village, city, county, public inland lake protection and rehabilitation district, town sanitary district created under Section 60.71 or 60.72, metropolitan sewerage district created under Section 200.05 or 200.23, joint sewerage system created under Section 281.43 parens 4, school district or technical college district. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of La Pointe in the county of Ashland, Wisconsin, borrow from the trust funds of the state of Wisconsin the sum of $800,000 for the purpose of financing harbor improvements and for no other purpose. The loan is to be payable within 5 years from the 15th day of March preceding the date the loan is made. The loan will be repaid in annual installments with interest at the rate of 5.5% per annum from the date of making the loan to the 15th day of March next, and thereafter annually as provided by law. Resolved further that there shall be raised and there is levied upon all taxable property within the town of La Pointe in the county of Ashland a direct annual tax for the purpose of paying interest and principal on the loan as they become due. Resolved further that no money obtained by the town of La Pointe by such loan from the state be applied or paid out for any purpose except financing harbor improvements without the consent of the Board of Commissioners of Public Lands. Resolved further that in the case the Board of Commissioners of Public Lands of Wisconsin agrees to make the loan, the chairman and clerk of the town of La Pointe in the county of Ashland, Wisconsin, are authorized and empowered in the name of the town to execute and deliver to the commission certificates of indebtedness in such form as required by the commission for any sum of money that may be loaned to the town pursuant to this resolution. The chairman and clerk of the town will perform all necessary actions to fully carry out the provisions of Chapter 24 Wisconsin statutes and these resolutions. Resolve further that this preamble and these resolutions and the aye and no vote by which they were adopted be recorded, and that the clerk of this town forward this certified record along with the application for the loan to the Board of Commissioners of Public Lands of Wisconsin. Is there a motion to adopt the preamble and resolutions?
Make a motion to approve the resolution 2025-0325.
I'll second with discussion.
Okay. Okay, moved and seconded. Sue, your discussion?
I'm just wanting to make sure that I heard right when we had our last thing. We have to pay the whole amount and then we're getting paid back, right?
Yeah, so just to clarify, this is the Harbor Assistance Project, major work on the dock in Bayfield, as well as some dredging in Bayfield. The total amount of the project is just over $1 million. And we haven't gotten bids on it, but this is the grant. We're required to pay share 20% of the cost, so around $200,000 for the town's share. We had thought or been told that the other $800,000 would be paid directly by the Department of Transportation, the Harbor Assistance Program. That turned out to be incorrect information. It is like most of these kinds of grants. We pay the bills, we submit reimbursement requests to the state, and we get reimbursement from the state. But that's about I think, a 60-day turnaround, maybe if we're lucky. And so what this $800,000 loan does is to provide the financing until we get reimbursed from the state.
Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions? Okay, we have to take a roll call vote. Amy Baxter,
Yes.
Samantha Dobson,
Yes.
Susan Brennan,
Yes.
Glenn Carlson, yes. Mike Anderson is absent. The vote is 4-0. The resolution is adopted. And I think that is all we needed to do.
I think that's all we can do, because clerk has to witness your statement.
Right, right. Okay, we'll wait for the clerk we'll do that tomorrow and get that right down to the state as soon as possible. Okay, moving on, vouchers, Town of LaPointe vouchers.
Make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $18,671.71.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Alternative claims.
Make a motion to approve the alternate claims in the amount of $1,327,902.27.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, and just as a point of information, the vast majority, like 1,000,001 of it, more than that, 1,150,000, is tax settlements to the school district, the county, and the technical college. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the treasurer's report as of February 28th.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report of a checking account balance of $608.56.
Second,
Yeah.
discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. I don't believe we have minutes.
I didn't have any.
Yeah. I
No,
didn't see
I
them.
didn't.
Okay, so we will defer those till the next emergency services. I didn't see anything. on that. Public comment B, John?
Yeah, when the next meeting is on April 8th for the weed loan, hopefully they can tell you how much they want to borrow.
Thank you, John.
I mean, I think that would be a fair question.
Yes, and I think Max will get back in touch with the committee and see if, we may not have answers to everything, but I think the more answers we have, the better we'll be able to decide on this.
Answers.
Okay, any other public comment, Paul?
Considering that this winter was much like last winter, much below normal snowfall, I was wondering if the town has ever looked into possibly during these periods of low or no snowfall, looking into laying off members of the town road crew and staggering terms to help try and save some money. I know last year they were putting up playground equipment, but you just can't be doing that all the time. Unless there's something else for me to do, like paint the interior of a building. I don't know what else you're doing if you're only getting 40 some inches of snowfall. And here it is almost the end of March. Granted, we're supposed to get something this weekend, but who knows what that's gonna be. It might rain, it might miss us all together. You might get 2 feet, don't know. But you just can't keep having the same amount of people when it's 180 inches as when it's only 40 inches.
Thank you, Paul. Any other public comment?
Yeah, Glenn, I'd just like to put on the record, if it hasn't been mentioned already, unfortunately, if you're not aware, the town was in line to get a $1.3 million grant from the USDA through their rural facilities program. And this would have been for the Big Bay Town Park Accessibility Project, something the town had been working on for multiple years. The idea is to replace the wooden staircase and the bridge that goes from the bluff to the beach. And this would have paid for most, if not all of it. Unfortunately, this grant got wiped out and eliminated from the budget as part of the nonsense going on in Washington. So unfortunately, there's another opportunity that has been lost. I just want to make sure everybody is aware of it.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, and we are going to be, actually, there's an April 7th deadline for us to submit to Senator Baldwin's office requests for congressionally directed spending in the next fiscal year. And I think that we will probably want to ask for that again. And I know that we're talking also about the replacement of the Husky wind sled, the rescue vehicle. Also, the Harbor Commission, I understand, is going to be requesting funding for an ice-breaking boat, which is going to be many millions of dollars. I'm meeting with Cal on Thursday to nail down the exact amount, but it could easily be in excess of 15 million. And, as Michael Kukta pointed out, there is a lot of nonsense going on in Washington, and so who knows what the prospects on any of this would be. Okay, moving on, liquor licenses. I don't believe we have anything to discuss. Lawsuits and legal issues. We do have something to discuss, and I think at this point we don't have to go into closed session. Judge Anderson has issued his decision in the Ashen County tax levy dispute. His decision is that the Tax Appeals Commission was wrong. They do have jurisdiction, according to Judge Anderson. And so he has kicked this back to the Tax Appeals Commission, but not without having some editorial comment about how this whole dispute really centers on some things that happened in long ago, 1859, long ago. And he seemed to be kind of suggesting that we really ought to be part of Bayfield County. So I don't know how many people are going to read his decision at the Tax Appeals Commission, but I did find it comforting that the judge was very much aware of the fact and mentioned in his decision, the difficulty of having law enforcement provided by the sheriff in Ashland County, which requires them to drive 25 miles through Bayfield County to get here. So we are, I believe Max is going to hopefully arrange a meeting, a call with our attorneys on this to see if there's anything more that we need to do. The case has already been presented in full to the Tax Appeals Commission. If you recall, they not only took their full amount of statutory time, they also took the full amount of their extended time to come up with the decision that they didn't have jurisdiction. So hopefully they will move more rapidly this time. I don't believe there's anything more on the Sargent
They
case.
can't get an extension again, can they, when it's thrown back to them?
I hope not. I don't know.
You would
for sure.
think that's not allowed. If you dilly-dally this long, you shouldn't be able to dilly-dally extra on the second time when it comes back to you saying you were wrong in your decision the first time, right?
We'll find out from the lawyers when we talk with them if that's the case. I would hope it is the case that they don't have nearly as much time to
Right,
do this.
you get the original.
Just remember, you need to get paid by the hour.
It's a court of law.
And don't be surprised if they drag it out, then they know, and you want to go back to court again.
And in that case, I'm hopeful that we go back in front of Judge Anderson. Okay, next item is new agenda items for future meetings.
So we've got the WIDA and the minutes from this that need to be added.
I'd like to just put on the agenda, we don't know what the result is, but by April 8th, our next meeting, we will have seen the results of the school referendum.
Oh,
And so I think it might be good just to have that on the agenda for us to discuss.
yeah.
And I wanted to ask a question or two to Paul Wilhelm about what he put in our box. So I don't know. We put on the agenda the airport article, so he knows I wanted to ask something about it.
Oh, sure. Anything
I can
else?
just ask him too, but
Well, no, I think let's put it on the
Yeah,
agenda.
then
Okay, any other item? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed? Carries, meeting's adjourned. Thank you all very much.